The Social Market Foundation, which has researched these issues, estimated this week that women who have a baby miss out on almost £70,000 in wages over the following decade. It's so concerned about the cost of childcare, it's launched a cross-party commission to look into it. It's led by Labour MP Siobhan McDonough and Conservative MP John Penrose. John Penrose is with us now. John Penrose, how expensive is childcare in the UK compared with other developed countries?
It's one of the most expensive in the whole of the OECD. So amongst developed nations, we probably rank in the top 2 or 3 for cost per hour, or the percentage of what it costs most people's take-home pay. So we are right up at the wrong end of the spectrum, I'm afraid.
Why is it? Do you know?
Well, that's what we formed the commission with the Social Market Foundation in order to get to the bottom of this, because if we're that expensive internationally, and no one's at the moment saying that we have miles better outcomes, what are we getting for all this extra cash that we're all having to pay? And it's not just the money we're all having to pay, it's the effect on people's careers and job opportunities, which you mentioned earlier on, which is really restraining. And it's particularly bad for people in lower paid sectors, single parents, particularly working mums, and all the things that we want to try and deal with for levelling up. So got to be fixed.
Yeah, so that they're choosing not to work after having a baby rather than getting a job and obviously having more income. One suggestion is that our rules, our laws mean more staff are needed to look at because they can look after fewer children each than in other countries. Is that right? Will you be looking at that?
We will certainly be looking at that. I mean, the thing you've got to be careful about with the ratios of staff to children is that if you suggest changing them, you've got to be absolutely sure that you aren't going to mess around with either child safety or indeed with the quality of the childcare that's being provided. But if other countries are doing something different and better than us, then a good place to start is to look at what they're doing, and can we import some of those ideas to the UK potentially as well.
Yes, and let me play you this clip from another listener. This is Ruth. Ruth and her husband have a 15-month-old son.
I was hoping to add an extra day's childcare to the week, but just with the cost of everything going up, then it's quite tricky. So I need the extra time to work on my business so that I can afford the childcare, but then I need the childcare so that I can work on my business and afford more. I hope that the government will come up with something so that people aren't having to not work because they can't afford the childcare.
And John Penrose, that's a dilemma for Ruth, I'm sure a lot of mothers as well. The government told us it spent £3.5 billion in each of the last 3 years on free childcare. That's 30 hours a week for children aged 3 to 4. But should it be doing more, as Ruth wants?
Well, I think Ruth is absolutely right to say she's caught in a sort of chicken and egg situation where she wants to work more, but she can't afford to work more, and therefore would it all pay off? And she will be far from alone. I think that you mentioned at the start of this piece that there's a lot of unclaimed government cash out there already. Getting better take-up would be a good start. But ultimately as well, if we just make this all about the size of government subsidies, then that's always going to be a bit of a precarious situation. It's always, particularly given all the strains on not just family finances, but the government's finances as well, all the upward pressures. You did this piece earlier on about energy costs as well. So it's better, if we can, to come up with something that's just fundamentally more affordable for more families, regardless of whatever future government policy may turn out to be.
Yes, and you mentioned the unclaimed help. This is called tax-free childcare. People are losing out on up to £2,000, and 60% of eligible parents don't claim it. Do you know why? Will you be looking at why that is?
I think we absolutely must look at that. And often you've done enough pieces in the past on your programme about unclaimed benefits of one kind or another, not just in this area, and often it's because either people don't know they can claim it, or they find the claim process is a bit complicated and a bit intrusive, and sometimes it's just about pride as well. People don't want to.
Yes, because you have to claim that through your nursery, I believe, which some people may not like doing. Now, you've got this commission set up. When can we expect to see some recommendations for changes? And also, if you could combine with that briefly, what do you think the government will do? Do you get a sense they're on your side?
Well, we're starting now, as you said. We're aiming to get some answers and some recommendations by sort of late summer, early autumn. I hope that the government will be. Well, I know the government wants to fix this, and I suspect they'll obviously want to keep their powder dry until they see what we're recommending. I'm sure, but I'm hoping that ministers will be receptive. I've already spoken to Nadeem Zahawi as well.
John Penrose, thanks. Well, you can let the children out of their childcare in a moment as we come to the end of this Moneybox podcast. If you enjoy